Ms. Jones, you've reached a critical point in your life and you've entered this courtroom to determine the biological father of your 2-year-old son, Jordan. And Mr. Morones, you are possibility number 1, and you're praying that Jordan is your biological child, but you have doubts.
Yes.
All right, so outside of the courtroom, Mr. Smith is candidate number 2, and sadly, he's requesting to sign over his parental rights if it's determined he is Jordan's biological father. Let me go to you first. Mr. Morones, how did you first find out that he may be your son?
She sent me a text message one day and said I'm pregnant and that I could only be the only possible father. That was it.
That's not true.
It's not true?
No, ma'am. I sent Mr. Morones a text message saying that I was pregnant. I never said that he was the only possible father.
So when you told him you were pregnant, you were just like, and I want your address to invite you to my shower?
Right.
No, Judge. I told him that I was pregnant. I sent him a picture of my positive pregnancy test.
Okay.
She also sent me one that said, you can breathe now. I'm not pregnant.
I never sent you a fake pregnancy.
Really?
Yeah.
So then you felt like she was just joking?
Right, yeah.
So what do you think this is about, to play with your emotions? What is this about?
Yeah, she was just pushing my buttons.
So, Mr. Morones, how did you find out that there were other possible fathers?
We were sleeping one night and she came to the room and she was like, I need to get something off my chest.
That's not true either. That's not how it went.
Oh my goodness. So she had to get something off her chest.
Right.
What happened after that?
She was like, I was with my ex-husband and I was trying to get my family back. The 2 boys that I took care of.
That's not how it went, Anthony, and you know that.
So wait a minute, finish this, Mr. Morones. You said she wanted to get her family back.
Right. So when we were on our break, she decided to sleep with her ex-husband.
Wow. So how did you find out that there may be yet another father?
About 2 months later after that, she decides to tell me that a friend, somebody I know, she went out to the bar and slept with them.
That is not the way it happened.
Okay, and so now you see that there are other possibilities, and yet in the beginning you say that she told you you were the only possible father.
I was the only possible father.
And so how are you feeling at this point? Completely confused?
I was destroyed. I was destroyed. I mean, you're screwing with my head, so I was terrified, but...
So then when baby Jordan was born, what happened?
I mean, he came out, he was blonde hair, blue eyes, and I was terrified because I didn't think I was his father, especially after she had confessed all these other relationships she had.
And so Mr. Smith, one of the other possible fathers, has blonde hair, so you felt like it may not be your child.
She used to send me pictures all the time saying, why do you want to see him? He's not even your son. It was side-by-side pictures of him.
Are you just trying to play with his head?
He knew the whole time that there could be other possible fathers.
So your contention is he knew that this could possibly not be his biological child, but he was still willing to raise the child and be a part of the child's life regardless.
Yes, Judge.
So when Jordan was born, you looked at this beautiful baby, and who did you really think was his father?
I don't know for sure. I slept with Mr. Smith, I slept with Mr. Morones, and I also was with my ex-husband.
Did you feel like he looked like one man more than the other?
I think he looks like Mr. Smith.
Okay. Mr. Smith is the man that's about to join us. All right. Mr. Morones, unfortunately, as she speaks and as she testifies, your greatest fears are becoming a reality.
Absolutely.
Because you felt like he looked like Mr. Smith. Now you hear she felt like he looked like Mr. Smith. And you desperately want this young boy to be yours.
Absolutely.
Ms. Jones, you've provided pictures of Jordan and Mr. Smith when he was a young man. You think they look exactly alike?
I think they look a lot alike.
as you look at the picture, Mr. Morones?
Yeah, and she's sent me pictures, you know, by text message, you know, side by sides of Mr. Smith, and, you know, there's a lot of resemblance. I mean, look at him. He has blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm not either of those. So it scares me.
What are you feeling, Miss Jones?
Mr. Morones wants to be there for Jordan. Mr. Smith doesn't want anything to do with it. And that hurts my feelings. I'm disappointed in myself.
We need to hear from Mr. Smith. Jerome, can you escort Mr. Smith into the courtroom, please? If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Mr. Smith, please have a seat. Thank you for joining us. We're here, of course, concerning baby Jordan. Now, Ms. Jones has stated unequivocally that she had sex with more than one man in the window of conception. You are one of those men. You acknowledge that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit to being intimate with her, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how did that happen? Take me back.
There was a night I was drinking, and so she ended up coming over, and we ended up going into my bedroom, and things started going from there. And we had sex, but it maybe lasted 3 minutes until...
That's not true.
I didn't finish nothing.
And this is the excuse she gave me that I could only be the father is because he was too drunk to perform.
Okay, so because your act was not completed, you felt like there's no possible way I could be the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
But we know biologically that's not the case. You know that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So also, have you seen the picture she posted with your picture when you were very young and Jordan's picture side by side, this picture here?
No, I have not.
When you look at this picture, do you see a resemblance?
A little.
A little you do see. But you really have your doubts because your energy, like you right here next to me, your energy, you're really not sure.
No, not sure at all.
And why don't you believe you're his father? Because both Ms. Jones and Mr. Morones, they feel like you are the more likely candidate because they feel like he looks like you.
My calendar time of remembering doesn't match up.
Oh, you've done some math?
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Smith
enlighten
was
the court.
too drunk to remember.
You have a calendar?
Yes.
Let me see that. So according to this calendar, in March or April is when you remember being intimate with Ms. Jones.
Yes.
But Jordan was born on May 1st. So counting back, that's almost a full year. So you're saying that puts you out of the window of conception.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Jones, is that how your math adds up as well?
I don't know when I was with Mr. Smith.
It's because it's before my throwing season, and that's when I know.
Your throwing season?
The Scottish Highland Games, like caber tossing.
Oh, okay, so you have
competition
that
starts.
time earmarked in your mind. You know those dates.
Yes.
So it would have to have been these months.
Yes.
Okay. How did you find out that you may be Jordan's father?
From a Facebook post.
Did you bring that as evidence?
Yes.
Let me see this.
She had posted on Facebook and then said, "Who's the baby's daddy?" There's me, her ex, and Mr. Morones, and Jordan.
Ms. Jones, you posted this?
Yes, ma'am.
But what would possess a mother to post a picture? It's not a game show.
I wanted people's opinions.
So when you saw this post, this is the first you ever heard about this child?
Yes.
No.
Really? And you say that's not true?
He was told that I was pregnant, and he said that it crossed his mind that Jordan could possibly be his.
And Your Honor, I've never seen Jordan until now.
You've never laid eyes on him?
The one picture and that's it.
You never held him, never hugged him, never...
No.
Never visited
Didn't
him?
want to.
No.
You actually stated that you want to sign over your parental rights should it be determined that you are Jordan's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, have you thought that through?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand what a huge decision that is.
Yes.
And you would walk away without even having the experience of knowing a young child that could be yours?
Nope.
I would just say to you before you make that decision, truly, truly think through your decision.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Now let's move on. Ms. Jones, you've brought a witness. Please state your name.
Tina Jones.
And how are you related to Ms. Jones?
This is my daughter.
Okay. What would you like to add, ma'am?
I'm hoping that Nick's the father.
You are.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Smith.
Why are you hoping Mr. Smith is the father?
I don't think that Mr. Morones is good enough to be Jordan's father.
That's a very strong statement. You don't think he's good enough?
I have Jordan 4 or 5 days out of the week, and I take care of him very, very well.
$25 a month is not even buying diapers.
I pay $50.
So
Most of the
even
month.
though it has not been confirmed that you are Jordan's biological father, you're paying support.
Yes.
Are you on the birth certificate?
Yes.
So if you have doubts, why would you sign the birth certificate?
Because I wanted to be his dad. It's my baby.
All right, Ms. Jones, thank you so much for your testimony. You may be seated. It's almost perplexing to this court that your mom stands up and says she wants him to be a father, and then I look at him and he says, but I don't want to be.
She wants me to be because of financial reasons, but I'm not. I have documents here stating all what I pay in child support and that already.
I see here that you are paying and supporting your other children, but you do realize that if it's determined that Jordan is your child, you are legally responsible to financially support this child as well. Now, is that the reason why you want to relinquish your right, is to get out of the child support?
Part of it, Your Honor.
Well, I'll tell you what, the court determines what is in the best interest of the child, not your pocket, not your heart, not your soul. It is for the child. Mr. Morones, what are your hopes?
My hopes that I'm his dad, so I can, put it to rest and just know that that's my blood. I mean.
Every time you look at his picture, you well up with tears. You love that little boy.
Very much. Very much.
It's like I'm on opposite sides of the spectrum. I have one man that looks at the baby and can't do anything but cry, and I got one man that's never looked at the baby and is ready to walk away, and then I got the grandmother baby saying she wants the man that doesn't want to be the father and not the man that's crying every time he sees the baby, and I'm saying to myself, who's thinking about the baby? I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. You okay, Mr. Morones? If you have to, you may sit down.
No, I'm fine.
You're okay? All right. In the case of Jones versus Morones Smith, pertaining to whether Mr. Smith or Mr. Morones is the father of 2-year-old Jordan, it is determined. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Jones versus Morones Smith, pertaining to whether Mr. Smith or Mr. Morones is the father of 2-year-old Jordan, It is determined that Mr. Morones, you are his father.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see the joy written all over your face, pouring out of your heart, and I love that.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Smith, I know this is a relief for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, I can't imagine being a child in this world where my father, before he ever held me or knew me, decided he didn't want me. I don't think that that's fair for any child. So I'm not just relieved for you, I'm relieved for the baby. Now, Ms. Jones, I will say this. Day after day after day, I see mothers come into this courtroom and look across that aisle and say what a man has not done for their child. For whatever you don't like about him, at least be able to appreciate the fact this man loves your child.
I do.
All right? I wish you the very best of luck. Court is adjourned. Ms. Amos, you opened your case today because you are furious that the defendant acknowledges your older child, London, yet denies paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Paris, and does nothing for her. You claim he needs to step up once you prove that he is Paris's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, you testify that the plaintiff is a liar and a cheater who knows you are not her child's father, and that this is just a ploy to keep you in her life. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I want to start with you, Ms. Amos. You say he does nothing for Paris.
He absolutely does nothing at all.
Explain.
No Pampers, no milk. I can get him to do nothing. He don't even acknowledge the fact that my baby is a possibility to be his. He acknowledge her at all, like she don't exist, period.
So wait a minute. You have an older child together, London.
Correct.
He does stuff for that baby.
A little.
But he does nothing for Paris.
Absolutely nothing.
I have my serious doubt that the baby's not mine. I done seen text messages on her phone from other guys saying, is you coming with me again tonight? I enjoyed myself. His name saved under a female name.
So are you all in a relationship?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. But at the time Paris was conceived, you were.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Amos, you were supposed to be in a relationship with Mr. Johnson.
That's correct.
You find out you're pregnant, and then what happens? You tell him?
Yes, ma'am. He instantly denied my baby when I first told him that that I was pregnant with Paris. He was like, well. He wasn't there for me through my pregnancy.
And it's heartbreaking for you.
It's very heartbreaking to me to deny something so precious like that.
Well, take me to the moment that you told him you were pregnant, because that should be a happy moment too.
Oh, the day I told him that I was pregnant, he was laying on the couch. I went to the store. I had got a pregnancy test. I took the test. I kind of briefly sat in the bathroom and I cried because at that moment, it was kind of hard on me, trying to deal with another child. So as I walked out the bathroom, he was laying on the couch. I went up to him. I showed him the pregnancy test. He looked at me and he was like, "It ain't mine," instantly.
Because she's a cheater.
You a cheater.
So, Mr. Johnson, that was your very first reaction?
Yes.
First instinct was?
Whose is it?
Because in your mind, you knew she was cheating.
The stuff I seen on her phone, sneaking out late nights. I go to sleep early, I wake up, she gone. Just me and the kids there.
You actually submitted an exhibit to the court to explain the instances you discovered she was cheating.
Your Honor, that's not
I want to take a look at that. So let's start here. You say she sneaks out. Explain that.
Okay, I go to sleep early. I wakes up in the middle of the night, she gone. I call her phone, and she don't answer, but she'll text. Oh, I'm going to the bridge, get a piece of mind. Who gonna go to the bridge at 3 o'clock in the morning by yourself?
To get a piece of what?
A piece of mind. But you can't answer the phone.
Okay.
But you can send a text.
So you believe she was going to the bridge to get a piece of something else?
Yeah, basically.
Next, it's the text messages from other guys.
She'd get in the shower with something. Yeah, I got her phone, I went through it. He was like, I enjoyed myself last night. And I'm ringing, but it's under a female name. I enjoyed myself last night. If we gonna get a room again tonight or stuff like that.
Is this true, Ms. Amos? Did you have this man's phone number saved under a woman's name?
I did.
And so what was the nature of your relationship with this man?
He was someone that I was being intimate with at the moment.
So he was someone you were sleeping with?
He was. Only because, I mean, you know, he wasn't ever home. And I have had my doubts and suspicions, and I have, you know, caught him doing stuff. So, you know, at the moment, I'm hurt. So I'm doing these things, you know, out of emotions, you know?
You playing the tit for tat game. He's doing it, so I can do it too. And you are having sex with somebody else during the time when you're having sex with Mr. Johnson.
I was.
All right, so let me see the next part of this timeline. You say, Mr. Johnson, she announces the pregnancy.
She tell me she pregnant.
When I told him that I was pregnant, of course I was already having sex with him. We was already intimate or whatever. I had just recently, before I told him before I found out I was pregnant, I was just recently, you know, messing with someone. It ain't like I just been messing with this guy or
so
whatever.
You say that you were not sleeping with this other guy during the window of conception?
Right.
When Paris was conceived?
Right.
That's your testimony?
Right.
All right, and so the next piece of your timeline evidence, Mr. Johnson says, the other guy confirms the relationship.
No.
Explain.
That's not true.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I got her phone and called him from her phone because I knew he was gonna answer. And I say, what's going on? He said, we've been messing around 5-6 months.
So he just tells you.
And she was, and she was what, 3-4 months pregnant then?
You do the math, you say.
It's not my baby.
But you're also sleeping with her.
Yes.
Every night.
So,
and how often then, if you sleeping with him every night, how often were you sleeping with the other man?
Maybe 3-4 times. I was having sex with both of them.
3 or 4 times a week?
Yes.
Oh.
Miss Amos.
Wow.
That was new for you, Mr. Johnson?
Yes. 3-4 times a week. I'm not even doing it that many times.
Oh, yes, you were.
Wow.
So, Miss Amos, what I don't understand is, why are you so sure Mr. Johnson is Paris's biological father when you are admitting in court right now that I was sleeping with somebody else 3 or 4 times a week?
I mean, me and the other guy, we had unprotected sex, but, you know, majority of the time we was, you know, using, a
condom?
Yes, ma'am. And when I told Gary that I was pregnant, I was not 3-4 months pregnant. I just had found out I was pregnant. Like I told you, man, that guy recently just had started messing around. He's lying. I never was messing with that guy. I never was messing with that guy for 6 months. He's lying. He's trying to make himself look good.
How she
But you said the majority of the time.
Majority of the time after the fact, that I found out I was pregnant with Paris, of course I was. I'm not gonna lie. I got feelings like I told you. He wasn't at home. He was instantly denying my baby. So yeah, okay, yeah, I was steady messing with the other guy. I was. But I was 100% sure. I mean, this is who I was with every night, every day. You know what I'm saying? And of course we was having a lot of unprotected sex.
Of course you're gonna be with me every day, every night. Because we stayed
together. We've been having unprotected
together.
sex for 3 years.
So let me ask you something. Did you tell this other guy I'm pregnant and this might be your baby?
No, I never mentioned it to the other guy.
So to this day, that guy has no clue.
He don't even know Paris exists.
He doesn't know that the baby's even here?
He don't know.
And why is it you weren't just honest and say, Mr. Johnson, it could be your baby, or this other guy, it could be yours?
I don't know, I guess because I love him, and I just really wanted it to work out. I messed
So
up.
ultimately, you wanted it to be Mr. Johnson's baby because even though you weren't getting along and you didn't feel like he treated you the best that he could, you really wanted to be with him and you wanted your family with him.
Correct.
But the truth is that this other guy is a possibility.
He's a possibility.
So therefore, the truth is Mr. Johnson's testimony is true that he does have reason to doubt. The only part you got wrong, Mr. Johnson, is you said it's not mine. Really, the correct sentence is it may not be mine. So, Mr. Johnson, did you sign Paris's birth certificate when she was born?
Yes, I was there, and when they brought the paperwork in, she was like, "You might well go on and sign it. You here?"
Never told him that. He's never told him that. He's lying.
Wait a minute, might as well go on and who says you might as well go on and sign it? You here? That's not why you sign a birth certificate. That's not like you might as well eat. You might as well eat since you're here for dinner. You might as well go ahead and sit down for dinner.
I didn't feel like arguing with her.
That's not why you sign a birth certificate if you don't believe you're the biological father. You should understand from London that when you sign the birth certificate, you become the legal father and you are going to be responsible for that baby and that you will be responsible for child support and that the court and the state and everybody is going to look at you and recognize you as the father. If you sitting there knowing you have doubts and the first thing somebody says when they tell you they're pregnant, your first thing is, well, it's not mine. Why are you in there signing birth certificates like you up there signing up to go to the play football, going up, signing up to play? I mean, you're not just signing something, it's a birth certificate.
I wasn't thinking right.
You brought a witness. Miss Amos, I'd like to hear from her. Please stand, ma'am. Please state your name to the court.
Leah Bullock.
Miss Bullock, thank you for joining us today. What is your relationship with the plaintiff?
Over the years, me and Kaya have become very close. We met through Gary. He's my first cousin.
All right, so now, do you think your cousin, Mr. Johnson, is Paris's biological father?
Absolutely. She looks just like his other two kids.
So you have no doubt?
That's just me. I mean, the information that she gave today, that was new to me. So, of course, I would have a doubt, but you know what I'm saying? She looks just like the others.
Oh, you got some new info today, too. What was the new part?
About the whole, you know, sleeping with two people around the same time that Paris was conceived.
Okay. But you think Paris looks like London, which is their older child together. Mm-hmm. And you don't really have a doubt.
I mean, I really don't. That's just me. Everybody has their own opinion, but my thing is, during the baby shower, don't be, oh, I'm having another girl, she gonna look just like London, and you know what I'm saying? You excited. And then when she's here, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
You feel like Mr. Johnson was excited at the baby shower and
he was very excited at the baby shower, participated in all of the games, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody laughing, cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying? Everything good, taking pictures and all of that.
So why were you doing all that, Mr. Johnson? You feel like you was there, so you might as well go on and have fun?
We was together.
Just like the birth certificate.
we was together. I mean, might as well get in the mood.
No. But this is it. I'm telling, my daddy says it all the time. He says, don't pretend to be who you don't intend to be. Now, if you're gonna pretend to be the daddy and pretend to be at the baby shower, don't pretend to be that if that's not what you intend to be. So, that was some testimony I needed, Ms. Bullock. You may be seated. Mr. Johnson, you also brought a witness. Please stand, ma'am. State your name for the court.
My name is Antoinette Johnson.
Hi, Ms. Johnson. What is your relationship to the defendant?
This is my little brother.
Your brother testified that you witnessed Ms. Amos with other guys.
I did.
She don't know who I know.
And not only that, she told me out her own mouth, this is not your brother's baby. I told him he can go on. So see the thing.
When did she tell you that?
When she was pregnant. And that was enough for me. If someone says that out their mouth, I don't need to hear anything else. And so that's where I was going. I was like, okay, you know, that's not his baby. She said it herself. So
you are not. I said that, and the reason why I said that was because it was in the heat. You know, it was in the heat of the moment. We was arguing. We was into it.
But there are like 1 million other things you could say.
Exactly.
But why say that? And then turn around the next day and want to go, no, it is your baby and you should believe me. They're done. They don't believe.
He wasn't done, she was done.
No, I'm saying, but no,
Exactly.
he is. He was. That's why he's standing here now with doubts. So do you believe Paris is your brother's biological child?
No, I do not believe Paris is his biological child. And I feel like that the oldest baby, London, should be tested as well. I mean, because...
But your brother has testified that he definitively believes that London is his biological daughter.
He want her to be here. If I would have went to the hospital with him, he wouldn't have signed the birth ticket. I would tell him to wait a minute.
So, Mr. Johnson, you have no doubt you're London's biological father.
I think that's my baby. I know that's my baby.
You do. It looks like you have a beautiful relationship with London.
That's my road dog.
Your road dog?
That's my road.
You love her very much?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Amos, Mr. Johnson's sister has stated that she has doubts about London as well as Paris. Does she have reason to doubt?
She don't have any reason to doubt that London is his child. She never cared for me